Greetings! My name is Corisande of Star Hill, and I'm from the Middle Kingdom. Today we're going to stitch a Temari. Temari is an ancient Japanese craft of spherical embroidery. This is one design. This is a square one that I have not quite finished yet because there's still pins in it. And this is a flower design, and we're going to make one in the next video similar to this but with less points going around, just because this is a lot of points, but it'll still be pretty. Okay, Temari means ball in Japanese, but I say Temari ball all the time, even though that's redundant. You can put anything in the middle of a Temari, anything that's not going to rot or get stinky or attract bugs. Today we're going to use just pieces of fabric scrap. You can use a styrofoam ball. In period, they would have used rice hulls or scraps of cloth, scraps of old kimonos, rags. And my favorite is dryer lint. I just save it and ball it up and use it. And the way we use whatever in the middle is you just start wrapping it with yarn. And you need just plain old typical yarn that you get in the craft store or whatever you have at home. I don't know if I'd waste my goodwill, but you can. So I'm going to take this yarn. It's the same 4-ply craft or regular worsted that I had in the beige. I'm just going to start wrapping. Just start wrapping up your wad of stuff. Loosely at first, and then go firmer and firmer and firmer. Now I'm aiming for the high spots, like right here's a high spot. I'm going to aim and trap it down. Go in another direction and trap it down. And keep going. Now there's a lot of keep going in Temari. Keep going. And then keep wrapping, and then you can wrap a little firmer. You don't have to wrap very tight. But what you do have to do is constantly move the ball. So what I do is I wrap once, move this wrist, wrap twice, move my wrist again. Then I move the whole ball. And wrap and wrap. And eventually you'll get to here, and it's all pretty contained. But it's not enough, nowhere near enough. So we take our regular ball of yarn, and now you see how this is just a ball of yarn, and I did wrap a whole bunch of wraps in one spot and a whole bunch of wraps over here. You don't want to do that with a Temari. You want to keep it moving constantly. So when I start a new thread, I just hold it with my thumb and wrap and go over that one spot to hold it in place. And then just keep wrapping, moving the ball the entire time. Move it and move it and move it. Move the whole thing. Wrap and wrap and wrap. Move the whole thing. And sometimes your arm falls off the ball. You just have to start again and put it back on. And just keep going. And you don't have to pull real tight, but a little bit tight. Because physics is going to make it go round as long as you are random. As long as you keep going random, it's going to go around eventually. What's going to happen is subsequent layers of wrapping are going to squish the inner layers together, and it's going to close up all those holes. And you'll see a lot of holes, and then all of a sudden you won't see holes, and it's like, wow. But just keep going. Keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me wrap this whole thing. So I have this one that is completely covered. You cannot see the yellow fabric that was in there anywhere. And then we want a thinner yarn to wrap with. Each layer of wrapping gets thinner and thinner, so it takes more and more and more. So if you don't have thinner yarn, I have been known to take this 4-ply yarn. There's 4 strands in here, and I've split them apart. You can see how I do it. And get 2 and 2. Okay? And hold on to 2, and then slide that down the strand. Slide it down, unroll it, slide it down. When it gets too tight to slide, you pull it from the bottom and slide it some more. That gives me, now you wouldn't cut this short of pieces, but that gives me thin yarn. If you can buy thin yarn, or if you have thin yarn, that's the way to go. I happen to have thin yarn, except it's down here on the floor. I have this really bright orange that I'm never going to machine knit with because it's way too bright. So I'm going to use it to wrap. Now, and I apologize that this is bright orange on top of this other orange because it's going to be harder to see, but it's the colors I have. So, you hold it with your thumb. Yep, get it higher. Hold it with your thumb and wrap and wrap. See, I went over that first edge to hold it down, and then you don't have to aim anymore. And move the ball and wrap, move the ball and wrap, move the ball and keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Once you get it completely covered, it will get round. You can, in the process though, roll it in your hands or roll it on the table. You can't see it on the table, but you roll it on the table. And that will kind of show you the high spots or the parts where it got a little bit loose. Those are higher spots. They need to be covered a little more. It should go round though without doing that, just because of physics. But keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. Okay, now I'm not going to make me watch this whole thing. So I have this one that I completely wrapped all the way with that thin orange thread, or orange yarn rather. And it's pretty darn smooth. You can see each subsequent layer gets smoother and smoother. This is a thread wrapped ball, and it's smoother yet. So now we're going to wrap it with thread. You need at least a whole of this big size spool to go around one ball like about this size, maybe even more, which is why I like the serger thread. So I'm going to use this light blue serger thread. I'm also going to put it on the floor. Same thing, you hold it with your thumb, give it a wrap, catch that end in, and then I'm going to set this on the floor so it feeds off like a cone. Okay, and wrap, wrap, and wrap, and wrap, and wrap. Keep going. There's a lot of keep going in Temari. Keep going and keep going. All right. And wrap and wrap and wrap and move that ball. You don't want to get any spot that has a lot of wraps at once. You don't want to do that because it's going to make bumps. It's going to be hard to stitch through. It's just not going to work. So take it off. I mean, I would say no more than 2 in any given spot in this early stage, and then no more than 1 later. But try not to put any in the same spot. What I'm going to do is stop this video so you don't have to watch me wrap this whole thing, because it'll take a little while. And I'll come back.